Thomas Dexter Jake, better known as T.D. Jakes, was born on June 9, 1957, in South Charleston, West Virginia. His name is linked to faith, leadership, and change, and he is one of the most famous pastors, authors, filmmakers, and motivational speakers in the world. He is also the founder and bishop of the Potter's House, a megachurch in Dallas. Jake has become a famous figure whose spiritual influence goes far beyond the pulpit. His ministry reaches millions of people around the world through books, sermons, films, and TV shows, making him one of the most well-known religious leaders of the 21st century. T.D. Jakes was born into a working-class family where humility and hard work were important parts of daily life. His father, Ernest Jakes, ran a janitorial business, and his mother, Odith Jakes, was a school teacher. T.D. Jakes' family was close, and T.D. Jakes' parents taught him the values of honesty and hard work from a young age. One of the hardest things in T.D. Jakes' early life was his father's battle with kidney disease. When Jake was a teenager, Ernest was diagnosed with the illness, which got worse over time. This diagnosis started a hard time for the family, as Ernest's condition required constant care. As the disease got worse, it became clear that the family would have to work together to support their father. Jake, who was still a young man at the time, became one of Ernest's main caregivers. The hardships of his early life not only shaped Jake's character, but he learned how to deal with conflicting needs and rise above difficult situations by balancing caregiving and school. He also realized that hard work wasn't just about reaching personal goals, but also about fulfilling responsibilities to others. Jake felt called to ministry from a young age, but his path wasn't easy. He grew up in South Charleston, West Virginia, in a Christian home where faith was an important part of daily life. In the beginning of his ministry, Jake preached in small storefront churches in his hometown. Storefront churches were usually small, unassuming places of worship that were often in underserved or working-class neighborhoods. Despite the simplicity of the settings, Jake brought a powerful and life-changing energy to every sermon. Jake's preaching style quickly set him apart. His messages were filled with passion and authenticity that struck people deeply, even when he was young. He was able to connect with his audience and make difficult spiritual ideas feel understandable and relevant by talking about things that were important to them, like family problems, relationship problems, financial problems, and personal growth. In his sermons, he stressed the importance of personal responsibility, faith, and the belief that everyone has a divine purpose. Jake's sermons were based on the power of faith. He stressed that faith was not just a belief system but a transformative force that could change lives. He often used personal stories, Bible stories, and examples from everyday life to show how faith could help people overcome the hardest problems, whether they were sick, having money problems, or having problems with their families. Jake taught that faith could help people get through their trials and lead them to a better future. Relationships, especially family and marriage relationships, were another big part of Jake's early work. Ministry. Jake knew that many of the personal and emotional problems people had were caused by broken or tense relationships. Drawing on both his own experiences and what he knew about the Bible, Jake stressed how important it was to have healthy, loving, and communicative relationships in order to live a full life. Jake's early sermons also focused on the theme of personal development, telling people to take charge of their lives and try to become the best versions of themselves. He taught that through faith, people could do this. His teachings on personal growth were especially encouraging for people who felt stuck in their situations or didn't think they could reach their goals. In 1996, after years of preaching and building his ministry in West Virginia and then moving to Texas, Jake felt called to make a new spiritual home where people from all walks of life could come to heal, be empowered, and grow spiritually. With this goal in mind, he started the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas. Jake's church took its name from this building. The Potter's House got its name from the biblical image of God as a potter who shapes people's lives through love, grace, and discipline. At first, there were about 50 families attending, but Jake's leadership and vision helped it grow quickly. The church's welcoming atmosphere, dynamic preaching, and wide-ranging ministries attracted thousands of new members. Jake's focus on dealing with real-life issues like financial stress, relationship problems, personal development, and spiritual growth made the church a place where people could find both practical and spiritual help. In less than a decade, the Potter's House grew into a megachurch with over 30,000 members and a huge range of ministries. Ministries that went beyond the church walls. Jake's smart use of media to reach more people was a big part of the growth of the Potter's House. Jake quickly saw how powerful television and radio could be for spreading his message outside of church walls, so he started recording and broadcasting his sermons, which were soon shown on major Christian networks like Trinity Broadcasting Network (TBN). His broadcasts showed his passionate preaching style and his ability to connect with audiences on both networks. Millions of people around the world watched on a spiritual and personal level. The Potter's House started many outreach programs to help with important problems like poverty, homelessness, education, and job training. The church got involved in local and national efforts to help underserved communities by offering financial literacy programs, youth mentoring, counseling services, and job placement initiatives. Jake's dedication to helping marginalized groups and fighting for social justice helped establish the Potter's House as a church with a mission that went beyond the spiritual realm. One notable initiative is the Texas Offenders Re-Entry Initiative, which helps people who have been released from prison. People get back into society with the help of programs like Tory, which help with things like housing, education, jobs, and reducing recidivism. The Potter's House became not only a spiritual refuge but also a transformative force for social justice and community development. Jake's international conferences are one of the most important parts of his ministry and a big part of his global influence. The Woman Thou Art Lewd conference is one of the most important because it gave women around the world power and is one of the most well-attended events. Woman Thou Art Loose started out as a small conference for women's emotional and spiritual needs, especially those who had been abused, had relationships end, or had been through trauma. Jake hosted the event to give women a safe place to heal, rebuild, and find spiritual strength. The conference quickly became popular, attracting thousands of women from all over the United States and beyond. Jakes went on to host other international conferences and events for specific groups, such as conferences for men leaders and conferences for young people. Megafest and events like it drew similar large crowds and had a big impact on people all over the world, which helped spread the word about the Potter's House and T.D. Jakes' ministry. Jakes is best known for his important work as a pastor and spiritual leader, but he has also made important contributions to literature and film. TDJ has written a lot of best-selling books. Each one is about a different part of personal growth, faith, and getting through life's problems. His books are both deeply spiritual and very useful, giving readers, providing them with the tools and insights they need to navigate different stages of life. One of his most famous works is Woman Thou Art Loosed, which came out in 1993 and quickly became a bestseller. The book is based on the same-named conference and is meant to give women who have been hurt, abused, or had a hard time in Woman Thou. Jake's messages of healing, self-worth, and faith encourage women to break free from the emotional and spiritual chains of their past. The book's relatable content and deep insight struck a chord with women all over the world, many of whom had never heard such open conversations about abuse, self-esteem, and personal trauma. The Church Jakes's knowledge of these problems and sympathetic tone made Woman Thou Art Loose a key work in his career and an important text for women's empowerment. Destiny Step Into Your. Jake's book Destiny came out in 2015 and is about the idea of destiny and how each person is uniquely called to fulfill a purpose in life. The book is a guide for people who want to know what their life's path is and how to get there, with spiritual advice and practical steps. Destiny covers topics like resilience, focus, and the power of perseverance, all based on the idea that everyone has a God-given purpose. Jake uses personal stories, biblical references, and motivational insights to inspire readers to follow their dreams and live a purposeful life. In his 2017 book, Soar: Build Your Vision from the Ground Up, Jake shifts his focus to entrepreneurship and leadership. The book is for people who want to start or grow a business or just take charge of their professional and personal lives. Using both spiritual and practical advice, Jake gives readers a plan for success while staying true to their faith. The book is for aspiring leaders and entrepreneurs and tells them how to navigate challenges, take risks, and build a sustainable future. SAR combines Jake's motivational style with useful advice, making it a must-read for anyone who wants to make their dreams come true. T.D. Jakes is also a successful author, and he has also made movies that use film to share messages of faith, healing, and resilience. T.D. Jakes's projects are often about overcoming hardship, the power of faith, and the importance of community and family. As an actor and producer, Jake has brought his unique vision to the big screen, making movies that inspire audiences while also dealing with real-life issues. One of his first movies, Not Easily Broken, was based on Jakes' own novel and was directed by. The movie, directed by Bill Duke and starring Morris Chestnut and Taraji P. Henson, is about a married couple who is having problems in their relationship. It looks at love, commitment, and the role of faith in overcoming marital problems. The movie was a big hit because it showed how hard things can be for many couples and how faith can help them heal and get back together. It was praised for its heartwarming message and strong performances, especially how it showed how problems can lead to healing and reconciliation. Faith and dedication can either break or strengthen relationships. In 2016, Jake produced the faith-based movie Miracles from Heaven, starring Jennifer Garner and Queen Latifah. The movie is based on the true story of a young girl who miraculously recovers from a life-threatening illness. The movie follows the struggles of the Beam family, especially the mother played by Jennifer Garner as she struggles with her faith as she searches for answers and healing for her daughter. Miracles from Heaven was a critical and commercial success, praised for its emotional depth, strong performances, and uplifting message. It reinforced one of Jake's core beliefs: faith, no matter how fragile, can lead to miracles. The movie reached a wide audience, both religious and non-religious, showing Jake's ability to send powerful messages through film that resonate with a wide range of viewers. He has been a successful author and filmmaker, but his personal life has also been hard. Behind his huge success are a lot of personal struggles and family problems that he has dealt with strength and faith. One of the biggest problems Jake has had is raising 5 kids with his wife Odith Jakes. T.D. Jakes has talked openly about how hard it is to balance family life with his growing fame, especially as his ministry career spread to national and international stages. T.D. Jakes and Odith Jakes have been married since 1981 and have 5 children: Sarah Gerain, Cora Jamar, Thomas Jake Jr., and Samantha Gerain. As T.D. Jakes' ministry grew, so did the media's interest in his family. The Jakes children were raised in a Christian home under the guidance of one of the most famous pastors in the country, and from a very young age, their lives were watched by people all over the world. People were interested in how the children of a famous spiritual leader would handle life. Jakes has talked about the unique pressures of raising children in such a public setting. The high expectations placed on the family, especially on the children, to live up to a certain image of perfection often caused stress, even though they tried to keep things normal at home. The spotlight brought both praise and criticism to their parenting choices and the way their children behaved. T.D. Jakes and Sarita worked hard to protect their children from the harsher aspects of fame, but as their father's popularity and influence grew, it became harder to do so. One of the hardest times for the Jake family was when their daughter Sarah Jake Roberts got pregnant when she was only 14. Sarah's pregnancy caused her both emotional pain and confusion, and it got a lot of media attention because her father was a well-known pastor. The family was hit hard, and they were thrust into the public eye in a way that was even more intense for T.D. Jakes. The situation was heartbreaking, as Jake was both a father and a pastor who preached on faith, morality, and family values. He had to deal with the emotional challenges of supporting his daughter through a hard and highly publicized time. The experience was both deeply personal and public, as people wondered how the family would react and what this might mean for his reputation as a spiritual leader. Later, Sarah told her story, which gave other young women who had been through similar things hope. She went on to become a very successful pastor, author, and motivational speaker, and she now runs her own ministry with her husband Tay Roberts at the Potter's House Denver and the Potter's House at 1 LA. Sarah's journey from a teenage mom who overcame adversity to become a well-known faith leader shows how strong people can be and how they can change. Her success is due to her own hard work, as well as the support and guidance she got from her family, especially her father. As a well-known religious leader, T.D. Jake has had to deal with the emotional weight of betrayal from those close to him. It's especially painful when someone in your inner circle betrays you, whether they're a close friend, coworker, or member of your ministry. Jake has said that some of his worst experiences were when people he trusted to support his vision and values let him down. In addition to the betrayals he's been through, T.D. Jake has also been the target of a lot of criticism, especially for his ties to what some people call the prosperity gospel. Jake has been accused of spreading this theology because of his messages about financial empowerment and success. His critics say that some of his teachings are similar to the prosperity gospel, which tells people to look for money and success as proof of God's favor. These criticisms usually come from more traditional Christian groups that believe the gospel is more about spiritual growth than material success. Despite all of these setbacks and accusations, T.D. Jakes has stayed true to his faith and his mission. He has been able to keep preaching, writing, and leading despite them all, which shows how strong he is and how committed he is to his calling. He has often talked about how these problems have made him stronger and how he has. Instead of letting betrayal or criticism weaken his resolve, Jake has used these experiences to strengthen his message of perseverance, forgiveness, and grace. T.D. Jake is one of the most famous pastors and motivational speakers of our time, and his powerful sermons, books, and films have touched millions of lives. But behind his public success lies a deeper struggle. T.D. Jake's personal journey was marked by profound grief, especially when he lost his beloved mother Odith Jake in 1999 after a long illness. Her death shook the foundations of Jake's life and faith, but he ultimately found comfort in his faith, which helped him get through one of the hardest times of his life. Odith Jake was more than just a mother to T.D. Jake. She was a source of strength and inspiration in his life. As a school teacher, she taught him how to be a good person. T.D. Jakes often says that his mother taught him the values of education, hard work, and persistence. She also shaped his worldview and sparked his early desire to become a leader and serve others. Her care and strong moral compass were very important in building Jake's character, which would later become the basis of his ministry. Odith Jakes died in 1999 after a long illness that had slowly taken its toll on her and her family. For Jake, her death was a deeply personal loss that left him shaking.